Greetings, legislators. I am Federico Zaragoza, President of the College of Southern Nevada, Nevada's largest and most diverse public college, and it is my honor to express our gratitude for your support of the College of Southern Nevada and higher education in the state of Nevada. We know that these are difficult times, and we appreciate the difficult decisions that you will have to make during this session. As you know, community colleges, and particularly CSN, will play a critical role in our ability to get our unemployed and displaced back to work and into the Nevada workforce. In spite of projected budget reductions, CSN supports the governor's budget recommendations to continue to fund caseload and capacity enhancement. For CSN, these funds are essential in order to ensure that CSN will have the capacity to deliver the skilling and reskilling courses and programs that will prepare our community for employment in high demand and emerging post-COVID occupations. We have but one objective in producing this video, and that is to share with you the CSN legislative priorities. You will hear our priorities articulated by the voices of our students, faculty, staff, and community leaders. I am hopeful that by the end of this message, you will see the value of supporting CSN legislative priorities, which include caseload growth, capacity building enhancements, the Nevada Promise and Prism education programs, the Sahara West Workforce Center, and the Northwest Campus capital improvement projects, and finally, the expansion of dual enrollment and the diversification of apprenticeship pathways. So without further ado, I hope that you enjoy the 2021 CSN Day at the Legislature message.
Good afternoon, and hello to all of my friends from CSN. I'm Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak. I'd like to start out by thanking Dr. Federico Zaragoza, one of the best presidents a college has ever had, for inviting me to CSN Day 2021. I can say that about Dr. Z because I've been working side by side with the College of Southern Nevada and its presidents for more than 20 years. First as University System Regent, then as Clark County Commission Chairman, now as your governor. I can assure you that I share many of the college's priorities for the 2021 legislative session. I have long held the belief that we must invest in and support robust workforce development, technical education, and apprenticeships in efforts to diversify our state's economy. And given the unprecedented challenges Nevada has faced due to COVID-19, retraining and re-employing workers who have been permanently displaced from their jobs is a high priority for our recovery. My executive budget this year had to be developed in the midst of this pandemic and subsequent economic crisis, but I wanted to do everything I could to support CSN. That's why my budget calls for nearly $12 million to be directed towards these vital workforce initiatives. There's also the Nevada Promise Scholarship, established to ensure all Nevada high school graduates can afford to attend community college. I support renewing and investing in this program to continue bringing access, inclusion, and diversity to our higher education system. At an even deeper level, we must support the College of Southern Nevada's primary mission through the renewal of caseload growth. These dollars go directly towards instruction, enhanced academic support, and direct student support, especially for those in underserved communities. Equity is achieved through caseload growth, and that's why these resources are included in my executive budget. Another priority of mine, shared by Dr. Zaragoza and the college, is CSN's prison education program. The pilot program we launched together in 2019 has been a resounding success and is already a national model. The program has been proven to reduce recidivism, cut the cost of imprisonment, and increase the success of former inmates in obtaining employment. I've attended graduation ceremonies for this program, and the progress you see is amazing. So having said all that, what's the bottom line for the college? Put simply, all Nevadans deserve equal access to world-class higher education. My mission for more than 2 decades has been providing the College of Southern Nevada with resources to serve as a bridge on the pathway to success for each and every student, regardless of their zip code or circumstances. You can count on me to maintain that commitment during the 81st session of the Nevada Legislature and I thank you for allowing me to join you in celebrating CSN Day. Thanks again to Dr. Zaragoza for inviting me today, and I hope to see you all in person again very soon.
College of Southern Nevada's online student newspaper, Coyote Student News, is a news program for student reporters. Coyote Student News serves the college as a reliable source for news and entertainment. Hundreds of students have reported for this news website that is now read around the world in more than 120 countries including China, Mexico, Peru, and even small Caribbean islands like Trinidad and Tobago. The impact has been bigger than expected. It has expanded CSN's imprint from the city of Las Vegas to the world. Jenny Mitchell created Coyote Student News, part of the course JOUR 105 news production, for students to learn the ropes of reporting, writing, and publishing.
She taught the basics of journalism, news gathering, fact-checking, writing, but more importantly, she explained the field and what was ahead, inspiring us to dream.
The journalism program at CSN has given me the tools to really feel like a real reporter.
Coyote Student News is one example of student success at the College of Southern Nevada.
As CSN's Vice President for Finance and Administration and CFO, I am here to talk to you about caseload growth, which is one of CSN's top priorities. As most of you know, CSN and the other NSHE teaching institutions are funded by a formula based on weighted student credit hours, the basis of which are courses completed by our students. Every legislative session since the adoption of the formula in the 2013 legislative session, that formula is adjusted by caseload growth or shrinkage depending upon the number of weighted student credit hours that our institutions have in the even fiscal year before the session. Using the count year in the even fiscal year is budget policy. For this legislative session, the formula is adjusted by looking at the weighted student credit hour growth or shrinkage that occurred between FY18 and FY20. CSN's caseload growth between FY18 and FY20 was 36,555 weighted student credit hours, which equates to $6 million. The caseload growth or shrinkage is a catch-up for growth that has already occurred. This next slide shows the progression of our caseload growth or shrinkage beginning in the 2015 legislative session where we lost $1.1 million, to the 2017 session where we were flat, to the 2019 session where we had growth of $1.3 million, and to the current 2021 session where again our growth is at $6 million. CSN has had a significant enrollment decline in this current year, fiscal year 21. This decline is attributable to the pandemic, has been typical for community colleges across the country, and we anticipate this to be an anomaly. But these caseload funds are for next biennium, fiscal years 22 and 23, and will sustain programs that have already been started with grant funds or capacity funds. Losing or reducing these funds would be harmful to the continuation of programs that are the very reason that we had growth in FY20. Losing or reducing these funds would be harmful to the continuation of programs that are the very reason that we had growth in fiscal year 20, like our HVAC program.
It's very important to fund community colleges like CSN because people like me that don't necessarily have the means to attend college have an actual opportunity to actually learn a trade and prepare themselves for a career, not just a job. I've been doing security for the past 10 years, and before CSN, I just thought that was it for me, and I had no goals or aspirations. But then once I found out about the air conditioning department, I realized that's something I wanted to do, and if it wasn't because of the funding and the scholarships available, I would not be able to attend CSN because I'm a single dad, so I barely make enough money to support my 2 kids and pay rent. So if we don't get the funding, I would not be able to go to class. So it's very, very important that they continue to help us out.
Losing or reducing these funds would be detrimental in a time when newly unemployed workers are seeking to come back to school to retool and enter the workforce again. CSN is counting on the caseload growth to continue our momentum with student completion and increasing our graduation rates. As most of you know, we are largely made up of part-time students and are a majority minority institution, and these funds are critical to sustaining direct instruction and student support services that our students need to complete, graduate, transfer, and prosper.
Capacity building is really an opportunity for the institution, for CSN, to grow and to enhance our industry-wide support for workforce training programs, for economic development, to help our displaced workers advance in their career pathways or to instigate a new career pathway. But what this does from a capacity standpoint is it helps bring more scale, more growth opportunities for some of these high-impact training pathways, training programs that lead to real careers in things like IT, cybersecurity, advanced manufacturing, our allied health programs.
So the initiative to get the funding for the cybersecurity program at the College of Southern Nevada is extremely important to me. I was the president of the cybersecurity club at CSN, and we just did not have enough resources to be able to fund our club to get the equipment that we needed so that the students can continue learning even on their own at home. I'm currently a cybersecurity and compliance intern at the Las Vegas Valley Water District. The money that we could get, they could use it to upgrade the equipment. The students would be able to get more hands-on experience that would actually be able to be put to use to be able to get a real job in the workforce. And those skills that they learn using that equipment, they'll be able to show those skills to the employers, and they're going to go so far in their career with having actual updated equipment.
You know, capacity building is so important to CSN. Without capacity building, we won't be able to bring to scale the services, the operations that our students will call upon us to provide to them. We've got tried and true practice, but without the capacity funding, we will not be able to reach a level of scale to where every student can experience what these tried and true programs are offering.
So Nevada Promise, I actually was the author of the bill that created the program. It really does give promise to students. I remember the testimony that we had when we were setting up the legislation that would allow it to occur. One of the students was there for a different bill, and he heard this bill, and this was a high school student, and he said, you know, I wasn't really even thinking about going to college because I don't have money, but after hearing what this Promise program will do, where it allows you to go to community college, to do community service, to have a mentor to help you in that process. That was something that student said, you know, I wasn't thinking about it, but now I'm thinking about going to college.
Without the Promise, I probably wouldn't be in college and getting my academics and getting my education. I've met so many people through the Promise. I've met my best friend. I've met my mentor, Hillary, who is there for every little question that I have and every little goal that I need, and she helps me succeed and strive for it. The Promise has given me so many opportunities with community service, people that can help me transfer on to the next stage and go to a university.
One of the most crucial things that CSN students get out of the experience of having a mentor in the Nevada Scholarship Promise program is really that awakening and that introduction to college life. So many of the young people that I meet through this program, this is their first college experience, and predictably it can be overwhelming. Having that perspective and that voice from a professional, from someone who's been there before, from somebody who cares, helps guide them on a path to success and keeps them interested, engaged. My experience is that they are extremely grateful for the time that is being spent with them, and the lasting effects throughout their semester and beyond have been noticeable each and every semester I participate in this program.
Hello, my name is Adrian Bell. I am a recipient of the Nevada Promise Scholarship. Two reasons why, as a child, why I struggled with making the decision to go into college at first was, of course, expenses and just having representation. People who look like me going to college. And since earning the Nevada Promise Scholarship, they've helped me with both of those aspects. They've eliminated my fear of, am I capable enough of having a college degree? Am I able to become a member of my community and a beacon of hope? So for those who look like me, they can see that it is possible to attain a college education. The worst thing in life is wasted potential. But with the Promise, you're making students become doctors, you're making students become businessmen, you're making students become dentists, who in turn are going to change the world, change their community for the better. And I thank you because of it.
The continuance of the Nevada Promise program is so important to CSN. You see, this is a direct tie to our Access mission and to our Student Success mission. This allows us to bring more hope, more opportunities to our local graduates, our recent high school graduates, to give them a pathway in and through college. CSN stands ready to support more students in the Nevada Promise program.
So I'm going to be very transparent right now to talk about why this is important to CSN. For one, Clark County incarcerates the highest number of people. Most of those people are coming back home. It is important for not just CSN, but for you and for the families that we serve, that we give these people an opportunity. For one, when you look at the women are going back home most of the time to families and children. And if we do not give them an outlet, an opportunity, they are gonna go back to food stamps, welfare, housing, every other resource that is needed in order to survive, which then adds the stress, which leads them to making the decisions that they made to begin with. We need more. I understand that we are in a budget crisis. I understand that the Pell Grant is on its way, but what I also understand is that that is not until 2023, and if we do not continue funding now, we have completely put a serious crack in our foundation.
In 2017, when I was the Senate Majority Leader, I, along with 10 other senators, proposed Senate Bill 306, which established a pilot program to allow incarcerated individuals to access classes at CSN remotely. During the pandemic, we've all become very familiar with remote school and attending class via Zoom, but remote school has always been a good option for people who, for some reason, cannot physically attend a class. Before this bill, incarcerated people could not attend any educational program outside of the prison walls because of a lack of access to the internet. This program allows incarcerated people to get an education through safely accessing certain internet sites. But funding programs such as the Prison Education Program allows incarcerated people to have a second chance at life once they're back into society. I would much rather we fund someone's education rather than their return to prison. 58% of people who enter Nevada's prisons come out without finishing high school, and even fewer have attended college. But community colleges like CSN ease students into the world of higher education and allow a school life balance for those who have other obligations. At the end of the day, institutions like CSN are integral to our state's success.
I chose CSN because when I was in prison and at my lowest point, the prison education program gave me hope, something that I really appreciated. So when it came time to choose schools, when I was out of prison, of course I was going to choose CSN. They'd already made a big impact on my life. Wow, I've had many challenges in the course of my life. After next semester, I will graduate with my Associate of Arts, and I have already been accepted to UNLV, where I plan to study social work to get my bachelor's and go on to get my master's, to do a dual enrollment program with a master's in social work and a Juris Doctorate degree. I think the prison education program is so powerful, especially for the women. If you can change the life of a wife and a mother, you can change the life of the whole family. Not only does that change her life, but she's shown her children that no matter how bad that they mess up in their lives, if they're willing to do the work, that they can make positive changes in their lives too. It's important for the legislature to fund the prison education program because I am not the only woman or man who could benefit from that hope and having a second chance to having a good life.
The renovation of our Sahara West CSN Center is very, very important and critical to what we're doing in this community. The direction that we're headed now, we're going to be able to take our programs to the next level and this community to the next level. We're renovating that facility to where we are providing, it will become a training one-stop. We currently have partnerships we've got staff on site from Workforce Connections, so we're able to provide all services to our students from adult basic education, ESL classes, GED. They can, there on our site, they'll be able to pursue HVAC training, manufacturing, which we know is high demand, high wage, emerging sector in Southern Nevada, especially with Haas coming to Las Vegas. But we're responding to other employers now. What we're doing there, we'll be able to provide trades, electrical, construction, plumbing, manufacturing, healthcare, particularly dialysis, CNA, MA, community health worker. What we will be able to do there is we'll be able to run our training 24/7. to be much more responsive to create that pipeline, short-term and long-term, to these employers that need people yesterday. We've started a partnership with Nellis Air Force Base with manufacturing. We're creating what we call stackable credentials, and these training programs will provide skills, certificates, industry certified, that will connect them to the employer, and then they can continue their education where these programs that we're doing will be aligned to our traditional credit programs. So they may start out as non-credit workforce training, but they will articulate into, they'll be credit, dual credit models. These programs and these labs that we're developing at our CSN Sahara campus will allow us to work very closely with CCSD to create pathways from high school dual credit all the way through our associate programs, our traditional programs, and everything in between that are industry certified. So we will be able to provide our employers that have these high demand jobs, high wage jobs, people just in time, short term and long term.
It is very important to fund community colleges such as CSN because it gives more people access to education within the first years after graduating high school. I recently met somebody that just joined CSN fresh out of high school, and it's just a good place to start within. You want to progress and go far in the healthcare profession, or just keep the dialysis technician as a profession.
I think it's more than important to ensure we fund these type of programs. I, as an assistant coordinator, do see people come through who don't have the money to pay for college, but they want to better their lives. They want to ensure they provide a great lifestyle for their families, and this gives them the opportunity to do so without getting themselves into more and more debt. And it also is something that they can just be proud of, that they completed a 4-year college accredited program and can walk away with the same degree as someone else in their family, or could be the very first person to graduate in their family by completing this program.
We've partnered with CSN for the Community Healthcare Worker Program, also known as the Promotores de Salud. Not only are we taking care of the individuals that are ill, but we're also educating our community. We're also giving our community the skills that would probably would be working elsewhere, and we're giving them a career path. So that's kind of a double-edged positives with anyone that does become a community healthcare worker, because what else would they be doing? So we're also helping them become professionals.
So the reason that I chose to serve on the IAC, the Institution Advisory Council at CSN, is because I really believe that community colleges are a very foundational and an essential part of a growing and thriving and viable community. I also believe it's, as part of that community, it's my duty to give back where I can. The way that we've been affected by this pandemic, and then the recession before that, and then downturns before that, our ability and our need to reskill, upskill, retrain, whatever terminology works best for you, is absolutely critical. And I think we're all becoming more and more aware of that. And so community colleges, that's what they're designed to do, is to take someone who either is wanting to or now has a desperate need to reskill, retrain, upgrade, gain some new knowledge, and then get them back to work quickly and efficiently, and I guess I would add cost effectively, so they can continue to provide for their families, themselves, and continue to help play their part in building and strengthening our community and our local economy. Community colleges like CSN play an increasingly apparent and vital role in helping all of us reskill, upskill, and get prepared for whatever is coming next.
So why now? Why do you need to have that call to action to fund the advanced planning for the CSN Northwest campus? Let me tell you. First and foremost, we have been working on this project since 2005 when we worked very closely with the city of Las Vegas as they saw the vision for the growing area of the Northwest. We know that our Charleston campus is at full capacity, but let me tell you why now is the right time. We have a solid program of what this can be with our partners, including Clark County School District, with our charters, but also with our workforce and economic development community throughout Southern Nevada. By funding this advanced planning now, we will secure, in partnership with the Public Works Board, an architect that will bring those visions and those plans to fruition through construction documents, so that when you come back in 2023 as legislators, you are ready to fund the construction of the very first building at the Northwest Campus, a 90,000 square foot educational access point for all of our community. So it's important now, because if and how we get this funded, we're going to be moving forward so that we can open this building in 2025, 2026 upon the successful completion of a construction project. So now is the time. Please, we request your support for the advanced planning so we can move this forward and all sit back together in 2025, 2026 and enjoy a very fabulous grand opening for the new building at the Northwest Campus of CSN.
Well, it's important to fund community colleges like CSN because schools and education, they're a big important part of our way of life. And education is what helps to make us better. And also, community colleges provide not only a path to a bachelor's degree, but they also provide training to our workforce in the trades, like auto mechanics, electricians, air conditioning, plumbing, and that sort of thing. And a campus in the Northwest will give those students who are planning on attending a community college the ability to attend school that's close to home.
Dual enrollment pathways and the diversity and everything like that on campus is super important to me, just because of how much it helped me, how much it shaped me as a person, and how much it helped my career. I got to present in front of the NSHE Board of Regents, got to jumpstart my college career, took some college classes, graduated with my associate's degree. Being on this campus, taking college classes, high school classes at the same time, balancing electives, personal life, work life, stuff like that, I learned to kind of time manage myself more. And so now, being in college, I know how to balance all of those things more. And I learned how to approach people and professors. Before I came to CSN, I was always super nervous with public speaking. And yeah, so it shaped me as a person, jump-started my career, and kind of just gave me a support system.
I believe we have several high schools in our valley, and it provides a pathway for students to jump off into a post-secondary education or get certification for jobs. And I think the earlier that we can provide that, meaning if we have dual enrollment programs at the high school level that allow students to not only earn college credit, but earn credit to graduate high school, it gives them an earlier start and could actually reduce some of their student debt if they're borrowing to continue their education. And I think it really fits well into a lot of our career and technical high schools that we have around the valley. And I think dual enrollment would really prepare those students to get in the workforce earlier if they wanted to, or prepare them for other higher levels of post-secondary education or degrees.
Well, when you really look at our opportunities that we have here, and I think even though in our partnership that we have doubled our programs since I've been here, because it's an opportunity for our kids to earn college credit while they're in high school. And I say this often, this is not for the elite students, this is for the prepared. So our job in K-12 is to make sure that when our kids are in our high schools, before they go on to college, it's a great opportunity, as I mentioned, for us to provide college credit. One of the things that we need to really continue to invest in is the opportunity for more kids. When I say we've doubled it in 1.5 years, that's only about 4,000 kids. We have 24,000 kids that graduate every year, and I think the investment that the state needs to make in our community is critical for us to be able to expand these numbers. And I think the work that's happening now, it's something that we need to look at as a CN investment, but also to diversify our population of students. Right now, we need more of the underrepresented, underserved kids that should have the ability for dual credit. So it's that first initial college credit for kids to say, hey, I can do this work while you're in high school, protected and supported by our high schools before they go on and take the big launch into the community college. So that's why, to me, it becomes part of the fabric of what we're doing here in our K-12 system.
So I support dual enrollment because it's an opportunity for high school students to be able to kind of speed up their education process, because it lets them take a class while they're in high school. It gives them high school credit and gives them college credit. And I know we're working on various legislation concerning dual enrollment, which will take away some of the barriers, make it easier. We want to encourage more students to take advantage of it. Not only will it help them save money when they go to college, it'll give them a head start as they head into their education, or even work, because they could take work-related type classes that could help them.
I want to thank you for listening to the many voices that help tell the CSN story, and that the information that we provided to you will be helpful in your legislative deliberations. I'm hopeful that we have indeed made a compelling case for your support, and that you have enjoyed this 2021 CSN Day at the Legislature message. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me or any member of the CSN family if you have any questions or need additional information. Once again, thank you for your service and stay safe.